Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Brain Podcast. Thanks for joining me today. Today's podcast is all about the power of nutrition for brain health. And it's a quick episode. It's something that we could talk about at length of nutrition and the impact that nutrition has on brain health. But what I wanted to do is give you the guidelines. And these are guidelines that the researchers in brain health are sharing. They're sharing the benefits that people who are following the lifestyle changes, including following this type of nutrition plan, that it can have such a huge benefit to brain health and decrease the progression of some of the disorders from brain health diseases. So I wanted to share that. These are not things that I have come up with, of course, not at all, but they're things that I do recommend my clients and my patients to follow, these guidelines, and I also attempt to follow. It's not 100%, but our nutrition, and you've heard it before, that food is medicine. It really is. What we're eating impacts a huge impact on our health, on our body and our brain and our nervous system and just everything. So here is really what it is. And I'm going to be going through each one. I'll maybe give a couple of examples, but like I said, it's going to be a short episode. And I'll give you some recommendations on how to get started with some of these choices. Of course, you can always join us in the Build a Stronger Brain. It is a program that I have. It's a 60-day program. I also do 30-day combination programs, and I also do private coaching. But if you're interested in joining this, the next round of Build a Stronger Brain, check out the link in the show notes and see if it's something that you want to join in. I provide the accountability, the coaching, the resources for living a healthy lifestyle to support your brain health and your overall health in general. All right, so for nutrition, these are the recommendations: to have a plant-rich nutrition plan. That doesn't mean plant only. It doesn't mean vegetarian and vegan only, but plant rich, heavy on the plants. And I'll explain why in a few moments. Also, high fiber. So getting that, a good amount of high fiber, around that 30 grams of fiber. High in unsaturated fats, but low in saturated fats. So unsaturated fats are something like the omega-3s from avocado, nuts, and seeds. The reason is that it decreases inflammation and improves vascular health. So you have the plant-rich, high fiber. Unsaturated fats are good. Saturated fats, not so good for you. Avoid processed foods as well. That is something I think across the board, we all know that. Processed foods, simple carbohydrates, avoid. Also, what they're recommending is really limiting gluten and dairy, because those can be inflammatory. Avoiding alcohol, avoiding artificial sweeteners. And as far as the fasting, that's another thing. People will often talk about fasting, but it's considered mild ketogenic. It's really not eating for 12 hours. So that's if you finish eating dinner at 7 o'clock, then you don't eat again until 7 a.m. And it really shouldn't be a surprise to us. It's not considered really fasting. It's just that's how we usually should eat. And I know I try to, but of course on the weekends, I'm going to have snacks. I'm going to have popcorn while I'm watching a movie. So it may not be 7 days a week, but really attempt to give your digestion a break for 12 hours. So if you stopped eating at 8 p.m., then don't eat till 8 a.m. the next morning. Those are the key things here. Now, I wanted to dive into the plant rich because the that seems to have a really huge impact. Oh, before I do that though, what about protein? Yes, wild caught fish, grass fed beef, pasture raised chicken, and eggs. Grains are one of those that I've read, some are okay, some are not. It really depends on the person and depends on the grain because it can be inflammatory. Just like too much gluten can be inflammatory, or even a little bit of gluten can be really inflammatory, and dairy as well. It seems like brain health is very susceptible to inflammation. So we want to minimize that as much as possible. Now, when you're looking at plant rich, why is it so important? It's because the plants have polyphenols in them, and that's an antioxidant. So they're antioxidants. They really help to protect the body and help the cells to function optimally. So polyphenols could be really connected to the color of the fruit and the vegetable. So the blues and the purples and the greens and the yellows and the oranges, those all are different types of polyphenols. The blueberries, there's anthocyanins, green tea, it's the catechins, isoflavones, chickpeas, soybeans, edamame, peas, flavins, those would be broccoli, kale, apple, tomato, onion as well. There's also the cruciferous vegetables. Those are very helpful for detoxifying. And detoxifying is an important body function, but it's also really important for the brain to clear out things, to get our system moving. So we are talking a lot about protein in the nutrition circles. Eat the protein, but we really have to emphasize the plants, and it's because of the micronutrients. It's because of the antioxidant effect of the vegetables and the fruits. It's because of the detoxification and the overall benefit of these variety of vegetables and fruits that we need to have on our plate. Currently, I'm doing a Glow Up Your Health for July, the month of July. And one thing that I'm recommending to the group is to have 4 to 5 servings of vegetables a day. That means a cup of vegetables or a half a cup of fruit. And of course, it depends on the serving sizes for these and the types, but that gives you an idea of like 4 cups of vegetables a day. Well, you could possibly get it all at dinner time, but it's better to just spread it out throughout the day. And like I said, there's so much emphasis on protein, which is not bad in a way, but it's taking the focus off of the plant rich. And that is also legumes, the chickpeas, black beans, edamame, soybeans. Those can be so helpful for the digestion and for fiber. There could be some sensitivity, but that's again where you have to look at, okay, how is my body metabolizing this? How am I feeling? When I'm working with people, I have them really identify how did this meal make me feel? Like, was I feeling bloated afterwards? Well, it could be maybe some of the beans just don't work well for you, or the grains. So you have to really be a detective for yourself to see how your body is really taking this food and using it. So what we do know though is when you follow this plant-rich, high-fiber, mild ketogenic, where you don't eat for 12 hours, avoid artificial stuff, the processed stuff, avoid the simple sugars, avoid as much as possible the dairy and the gluten. That is really the way to go. And we don't have to complicate it. You can still have like little treats here and there depending on what your health goals are. But I hope that this has just given you something to think of. And the last thing I'll say is the way to approach, how I would approach this is I would look at each meal and make it simple. I would have one or two different types of breakfasts that I would like to make and look at it and say, okay, where can I put in some more veggies or fruit? Is this a brain healthy food meal? And is it providing the fiber that I need through the day? Then I look at lunchtime. And again, it could be leftovers from a meal previously or something just really easy to put together. And then maybe one or two new recipes in the evening time. There's so many recipes out there. You could just search up healthy brain and brain recipes to support brain health. So many good recipes there. But you can also do a mix and match. So have a vegetable, have protein, and maybe have on the plate for dinner, have it, half of it is going to be vegetables. A quarter of it will be maybe a little bit of complex carbs, the grains, quinoa, brown rice. Maybe the protein is a quarter as well. So it just depends on your health goals. It depends on how your body is metabolizing things. But brain health, feed your brain and your body the good, clean nutrition, because that is really where you'll see the benefit. And again, if you want to join that group, it's still going on. You can join the Glow Up Your Health. I'll put the link in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today. Take care.